This is Julie Andrea, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Obsession. Welcome, welcome. Um, I was getting ready to go out, and I said, I'm going on a date, and I said, this is probably the perfect time. I had some time, I got ready a little early. So I said, let me hop on and let's do another deep dive into dating. I know this is the phase of my life and where I am, and I figured we might as well just dive a little deep. Post divorce, after kids have left the nest, what does that look like? And a whole new mindset. If you've been here for a minute, you already know this part of my life and me rediscovering the joy of learning how to find myself, learning how to live for me, and dating. And whoo, child, this is a whole new chapter. So sit back, grab some snacks, and let's get into it. Let's be real. Dating after a 20-year marriage it's different. It's very confusing. I'm learning dating apps. We didn't have that 20 years ago. I did not meet my ex-husband on a dating app. Um, and just the right etiquettes and what to say and what not to say. I realize that sometimes I'm too forthcoming. I tell all my business. I'm very transparent, and not everybody is that way. I think in the dating apps too, it's kind of like you can't see someone's energy as when you first meet them. Like you can go off energy and vibes, and during the apps and you're texting, you don't really know if this person energy is off or not. You don't know what you're getting, and I realized at first I just wanted to like close the app. I was like, I don't want to do this. And I think I waited like a couple of months later, and then I was like, let me try it again because I had to get a different mindset going. Of course, Cookie wants to come and say hello. Come and say hello. Say hello to everybody. Okay. Um, I had to have a different mindset um, because finding someone to share my life with is not going to happen overnight. I'm going to have to put forth the effort to get it done. And the question was, how much work was I willing to put into it? Dating now is less about butterflies and more about boundaries. And I'm not 22 anymore. I'm not here to play games with you. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I don't need anyone to complete me because I'm already whole. So once you have that mindset, it's kind of like, yeah. One thing I've learned, I lead with honesty. I'm very upfront and honest about my intentions, what I want, what I'm looking for, what I expect from you. I don't pretend that I don't have kids or I want more kids. Like sometimes you're scrolling through the profile and you'll see like they'll say, "Oh, I like they want more kids." I do not want more kids. So if you want kids, we should not we not gonna do it because I'm not pretending like I want to be anybody. I'm not gonna be here with mine. I don't hide my story. Um, if you're dating me, you're dating someone who has lived and survived. Like I have a whole life, I have a whole story. I'm not going to hide the loss of my son or the end of my 20-year marriage. We're not playing any games. So you have to be open and transparent. And if you're not, then you're not the person for me if you can't be. And the fact that I've lived a whole life, to me, that's attractive. And I don't want to dim my light or to dim my story or not share my story um, with anyone. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Like, live in your authentic self and share exactly who you are. And it's kind of like, I don't want to sit here and pretend because if you don't like me for me, then you could just keep going because I'm going to find someone who likes me for exactly who I am, who 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 is not intimidated by my story, who's not intimidated by my success, um, or has issues with my past or what I'm currently doing right now. There's also a hard part. I I feel sometimes it can dating can trigger grief in a sense. It can remind you of what you've lost. It can remind you of what you don't have or what you didn't have, um, or what once was. Um, like after the loss of my son, I I didn't know. Like some days I couldn't even think of having a relationship with someone because I didn't want to. The first question someone sometimes asks me is, "So, how many children do you have?" And my response is always, "I have 3 children. Two are with me right now." That opens a can of worms to what does that mean? And it's like, I don't know how not to say that I have 3 children, how not to talk about the loss of my son, but know that knowing me or getting to know me is part of knowing my story. And I'm not going to dim the light or the struggle of losing my son, just to make you feel comfortable, if that makes any sense. So, um, but I think other days I crave the connection. I crave, not for validation or anything like that, but to feel joy, like to flirt, to laugh. Like I like that part. Like I want to be a little flirty and I want to sit there and laugh at your jokes. And I think more of that is like to feel alive. Like you want to feel that it's okay to continue on. Um, so I think that's the hard part of dating. For me, for everyone, it's different, but that's the hard part for me. So I wrote down, let me get my iPad. I wrote down what I'm looking for now. I had to write a list. Like, Julie, what are you looking for? And also, I think, with me trying to date and be more intentional, I think, well, not I think, I had to kind of create an idea of like, what do you want? Like, you out here getting to know people, but don't waste their time either because you need to figure out what you want first. So here's my list. Um, Red flags, love bombing, not respecting my time, or not being clear about your intentions. I met this guy, and I think within the first couple of conversations, he told me that he was going to marry me. I was going to be his wife. Sir, you don't even know me. You don't even know my last name. You don't know nothing about me. You about to marry me? Like, stop. And I didn't even know what love bombing was. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I be Googling all the time because I'm like, what? Um, Not respecting my time is simply if you say we're going to do something at a certain time or you're going to call me back. And if you don't, that's like I don't want to talk to you. Like, because if you don't respect my time and we don't even know each other, imagine when you do know me. Like, no. Um, so those are my red flags. My green flags are you have to be emotionally available. Mm-hmm. You need to be able to communicate. Your communication level needs to be very high. And someone who respects my healing journey. Like, I don't want you to be like nonchalant about where I am. And I'm not saying that I'm completely healed. Yes, I've been to therapy. Yes, I'm working on all those things, but it's a journey. I'm not saying like I'm completely fixed and I'm not broken. But at the same time, you need to be comfortable with walking with me on my journey. This season of dating is slower and more intentional, and I'm here for that. Like, I'm not rushing. Like, I'm not trying to get married tomorrow. I don't even think I'm trying to get married at all. Um, Now, I've been asked a question, and my answer is the opportunity hasn't presented itself. So at this current moment, I'm not out here dating to be married. If the opportunity presents itself, I might change my mind, but that's not my intention. I just want someone that I can share my life with, that I can experience my life with, that I can share traveling and going to new restaurants and shows and just share my life with. Cook dinner on a Sunday night, or make breakfast for you, or like I'm just trying to share my life with someone. That's where I'm at. That might change though. I might meet the love of my life and we might y'all might be like, so Julie, remember when you said, I'll be like, oh gosh, I know. Don't quote me. I did a poll on Instagram and I asked everyone, not a poll, but I put a question box up and asked everyone to kind of like put their questions that they would like me to answer. Um, and we're just going to dive into some of those questions. I got my iPad that is heavy on their hearts and just hilarious. We've been having like hilarious group chats, basically about dating and dating again after divorce and after the kids. So one of the questions that someone asked was, when was the last time you went on a date? Was it fun or a disaster? So my very last date was fun. It was fun. It was, he picked the restaurant. We went out. It was Mexican. I love Mexican. He had asked me what my favorite food is. It is Mexican. So we went to a nice Mexican restaurant. And afterwards, we went and played pool. So I thought that was very thoughtful because he had asked all the things that I like to do. And so he came up with that date. I have had a disaster of a date. So this was our second date. So I'd went out with this guy before and we hit it off. We've been talking on the phone for a while, and we went on our first date, which was fine. And then our second date, he was like, oh, do you want to go to the movies? And I was like, yeah. So we went to the movies like in the middle of the movies. He was like, he got a work call. He was like, oh, I have a work call. I'll be right back. And I was like, oh, okay. Why he never came back? So I'm like, it's a work call. I'm like, I get work calls. So I'm very understanding of said things. So I'm like, okay. I had to go use the bathroom. When I went to go use the bathroom, I didn't see him. I was like, oh, maybe he had to go like further outside in his car or whatever. The whole movie finished, child, and he never came back. I got to my car. Mind you, when we got there, he had parked next to me. When I got to my car, his car wasn't there. Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away. If y'all want me to get deep into that, I can. Next question. Um, do you feel like dating do you feel like the dating world changed while you weren't looking? What what shocked you the most about getting back out there? Um, Child. Okay, I must admit, I never dated before. I always had relationships. Like I always had a boyfriend. Like I didn't have several people that I was dating at the same time and trying to figure out which one. Like no, I always had like a boyfriend. So dating for me is different now. I didn't realize that you could date multiple people at the same time and to figure out which one was the better catch. Like I didn't realize that I didn't like I not settling, but I have choices. So that's new for me. hmm so it's and the apps like there's like you know the whole dating app and like how long do you wait for someone to respond to you, and when you text, like do you give your number right away? Like there's so many protocols. The other question: what's one thing you won't compromise on in a relationship anymore? What I want. I'm not compromising. Um, I'm done compromising. So what I want is very important, and I am not going to dim my light for anyone. That part. Next question. Um, what's your number one red flag? What is a green flag that instantly puts you at ease? Um, my number one red flag is if you don't like if you so if I text you today and you don't respond until tomorrow, I don't even want to talk to you. It's a red flag because it's a text message. It's not even a phone call. So everybody got their phone in their hand. You can't text back. A green flag is if you communicate just as easily as I do. Like if our banter, like we can go back and forth. I know it's I like a little back and forth. I like to be witty and laugh and like if you can match my banter, I like that. I like that. Let's keep the conversation going in the chat. Whether you're newly singled or re-entering the dating scene or you're not sure where to start, you're not alone because I'm right there with you. I'm figuring this out right with you. So leave a comment below and let's share some of our funniest stories. And so we can kiki. If you have any questions or funny stories that you want to share, definitely leave them below. That's all the questions I have for now. If you have any other questions, definitely put them in the comments. If you want to continue this conversation, you want us to do more, let me know. So I guess I was thinking that if you're in your 40s or beyond, I'm 48. Don't quote. Like I always have to think about how old I am every time I say it because I'm like, how old am I? I'll be counting. Or you're just getting out there for the first time. I want you to realize that you are not behind. It's okay. Like it's okay. Your standards are not too high. You're finally healthy. It's okay to want what you want. You can have fun and still be serious about what you want. Trust your gut. I know. If I trusted my gut on a lot of things, it would just be totally different. Trust your gut. It feels weird and it is weird. And I can't tell you how not to trust your gut. If you feel like he's not feeling you, it's probably he not feeling you. Trust your gut. And make it about you. If you enjoy your own company, the rest is just bonus. So yeah, this is where I am in my journey. I'm not rushing. I'm not settling. I'm just open to the possibility. Um, if you're walking the same path, drop a heart emoji. Cookie, sit down. Let me talk to the girls. Drop a heart emoji in the comments and tell me what dating looks like for you after a long-term relationship. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with someone who might need to hear they're not alone in this season. We're figuring it out together. If you want to continue this conversation, you want us to do more, let me know. I love y'all all. I am loving YouTube. I just really am. I appreciate all of you. Our community is growing, and I thank everyone for just being here and just thank you.